Anxiety. What is it and how can we overcome it easily? First of all, I want to start my talk with telling you that it's okay and it's really necessary to talk about your feelings and your anxiety. What's not okay is when you suppress it, when you keep it in, when you don't talk to anyone about this. This is the major cause why we get anxiety in the first place. What you're going to hear me talk about quite often from now on is the magic piece of paper and the pen. When you write down your feelings, your fears, your anxiety on a piece of paper, and it's really important that you use your handwriting to do this, you get this wonderful clarity and consciousness and awareness of what you need to do in order to think of solutions only. See, you get this feeling of knowing what's happening inside of your mind when you see everything structured on a piece of paper, and it's detaching yourself from the problem. Now, anxiety, in my opinion, and I'm talking to you about anxiety because this is more than a fear. It's more than step on your fears. I have had anxiety when I was 26 years old to such an extent that I had a heart condition, I had tachycardia, and I found myself taking the same pills like my grandmother used to take. Now, as it's more than fear, it's a painful process until you discover it's a certain fear. In my opinion, anxiety is a combination, mixed feelings between fear and other negative emotions that you have had from the past, but you have not dealt with so far. And this is not a bad thing. Remember that we always do in the past the best we can with the resources we have handy. So it's not to blame, it's not to feel yourself guilty because you are in this situation. Now that we know what anxiety is, let's see how we can conquer it easily. The first step is to write your feelings down, write the problem down, write it down on a piece of paper and read it out loud. There are times when we really don't feel comfortable. We have no way of talking to someone else about our feelings. So it's really helpful. It's a first step in getting the clarity that you need. When you read it, you are going to detach from it, and then your mind is going to come back in the present moment. Anxiety mainly happens because you're not now, you're not here. You're either in the past, which does not exist anymore, or you're either in the future that cannot happen unless you focus on the present moment. See, future happens 50% the good things that you talk about and that you think about, and 50% the bad things, the worst situations. Now, you have your problem written down on a piece of paper. You have it all clear in your mind. Now, just think of this. If there are 50% chances that the situation is going to be awful and 50% chances that the situation is going to be the way you want it to be, what are you going to put your focus on? Yeah, you have the answer. It's about putting focus and acting towards what you want to get instead of on what you don't want to get. Let me give you this example. you are going to have a very serious exam, something that's really important in your professional life. It scares you, it's a lot. You are going to have your career depending on it. This is such an extreme scenario so that you can have an idea of what I'm really talking about now. Okay, so you are scared of that exam. There are 50% chances that you are going to pass it and have the best time of your life, and 50% chances that you are not going to pass the exam. Now, you know that this is the main issue why you have the anxiety. So, what are you going to do about it? You wrote it down on a piece of paper. You know that this is your main trigger. So you are going to start studying. You need to start acting towards what you want. Obviously, if you don't learn, if you don't study anything for the exam, the 50% chances of you not passing the exam are going to be real. But if you study, if you do all your best, if you take all the steps, if you do the action needed to overcome this fear and really study hard, you have more than 50% chances of passing the exam. So put focus on what you want instead of what you don't want. This is how you overcome anxiety. Good luck.